Another episode of The Running Journey. Exciting one, episode 119. I can't believe we've done 119 episodes. That's crazy. This episode, I talk about and we release the details of what is going to be my A race for this summer. For those of you that are listening, it's going to be on July 16th, and it's going to be something that we've not done ever on the podcast, and that hasn't been done in the history of Manitoba podcast. Listen to this episode to find out the details. It involves another podcast also as well, a Manitoba podcast. So I'm jacked. I'm so jacked about it. I shouldn't be this excited about running because then I get this down about running, but I am really excited about this race that's going to happen on July 16th. We also talk in this episode about my barefoot training for the Barefoot Guinness record attempt that is coming. We talk about, I did some heavy mileage this weekend, so did Charlie. Charlie and I also talk about his bike training and strategies for running the Manitoba Marathon, gels, training, tapers, all that. So it's a great episode. Charlie and I talking about where we are at here in this very exciting time in the running calendar. It is episode 119 of The Running Journey. Charlie and I discussing the greatest thing on earth, which is running. Enjoy. Welcome, everyone. I'm Rob. It's my brother, Charlie. We are here, another episode of The Running Journey. We've now done, what have we done? Like 100 this is like 119 episodes, Charlie, that we've done of The Running Journey. Does that feel like we've done 119?
Nope. Does not. It feels like we've done less than that.
Less or more?
Less.
Yeah. Well, I guess it adds up quick, 52 a year if you're consistent with the programming. Remember when we started, we would just kind of do them whenever we had a race or whenever, hey, you want to record? Yeah. We'd go a month between episodes. Anyways, now we are consistent and it's been fun. And it's been great to see all you guys join us every week. So thank you for that. How are you doing, Charlie?
Good. Yourself?
Good. What are we, people that haven't seen each other in a month? No, I'm doing great. I'm doing much, much better than last week. And thank you for everyone who reached out to me and did a wellness check on me. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm doing great. I'm actually doing unbelievable. It's just that slide, the diminishing slide or recovery after a down, and it's just, you just get back to normal slowly, day by day. I'm doing great. I'm excited. I'm back. I'm running. I took a bunch of days off, but I'm running. You apparently are not taking any days off ever.
Mondays are kind of rest days.
What do you do on Mondays? Like just an hour and a half bike and 40-minute jog?
No, just a swim.
Oh, but that's worse. That's worse.
Yeah.
You bike there and then you swim and then you bike home?
No, Monday I go to Pan Am and
in the evening with the Masters Club.
You should come sometime.
I should. Yes, I should come sometime. 8:00?
Yeah. I'll see you there tonight.
No, it's not going to happen tonight, but I'm dealing with my shoulder injury. I told you about my shoulder injury,
right? Yeah.
The guy at the Jets game? Oh, the guy behind me at the Jets game?
Yeah. The high five
injury. I can't believe I got injured so bad at a Jets. I was in a sling the next day. It was so bad.
Yeah.
So I'm slowly recovering from that. I better be able to swim by next week there because I have apparently I'm going to do a what's it called? Barefoot Birds Hill Triathlon Guinness record attempt. So I got that coming up. But you guess, okay, maybe I'll start with this. Guess how many. I saw a post on the weekend on someone said that they were passing 1,000 miles on the year.
Okay. Yeah.
Guess which one of us is closer to 1,000, or do we have 1,000 miles?
I'm just short.
Okay. You know where you're at.
I don't know. There's quite a few runs lately that haven't gone into Strava of mine, but I'm very close to 1,000. I don't know about you.
Oh, because of your watch thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like 6 kilometers short, I think.
Oh, wow. So my real number right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me just pull that up. My real number.
I also have some miles that don't count, but very few.
Yeah. Oh man, I haven't marked my jogs for like a week in my
Oh, so I was wondering. So yeah, you're ahead of me then, I would imagine.
no. So let me just see. So my real number up to May 20th was just give me a second
Yeah,
here.
that's all right. I believe I'm at just over 1,600 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 1,609, I believe, for a
Yeah,
1,000 miles.
yeah,
I'm at 1,602. So I'm
yeah.
7 kilometers short.
Okay.
But that's not counting all the walks that I've done this year. I've got like
Mhm.
30 kilometers of walking.
Okay, so my real number prior, so after prior to this week was 9:47:35, but I did get
Charlie's pulling out the spreadsheet,
yeah.
the
So
Excel data.
I did get 20 miles. I think you did lots of miles on the weekend, eh? So I got an extra
You're
21
at
21 plus 5 is 26 plus another 3, so 27. So I'm about 975 right now.
okay, you're
970.
25 miles short.
Yeah.
And
And you're at 995 something?
996.
Okay. Wow.
So
Good
I guess
year.
tomorrow I'll get there. Did you think intuitively that I was ahead of you or that you were ahead of me? I thought you were ahead of me is what I'm getting at. I thought you had more miles than I did.
Mm, well,
But then I thought you bike way more. So then I thought, it's just hours that he's
I
spending.
feel like we've been doing very similar until recently. So recently I've been doing more bike. So yeah.
I probably just ahead of you by the 100K I did at the Centennial. It's probably the only reason I'm
Oh,
ahead.
you did that too. You did that stuff on Centennial. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, you have like 1,000 kilometers on the bike, I think, or something like that. Probably. I
No,
have like
500 miles.
800 kilometers on the bike. I have
Yeah,
200 or 180.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're quite a bit ahead of me on the biking. But I was just surprised. So we're gonna cross by the time you guys listen to this episode. We're gonna cross. Probably both gonna cross 1,000 miles.
No, I won't.
You're done running for a bit. You're gonna stop. That's enough.
No, it'll take me to a week or another week or so to get
25
there.
miles.
Yeah, I'm at 25 miles a week right now. So not
Okay.
a bit of a lighter week this week because on the running because Saturday is going to be my big bike ride and Sunday is going to be triathlon practice at Birds Hill Park.
What are
Just
you
gonna
doing for that?
practice transitions and learn the course and things like that.
Yeah, you don't know that course. Yeah, it's brand new course this year, or are they using the same one you've done the last 5 years?
You know what they say,
Practice makes
the
perfect.
more you practice, the better you get at something.
No, I'm being sarcastic, but I
But
get
no, I do know the course, yes.
you
But
know the course, but I get why you're practicing.
yeah,
The turns, you're going to practice the hairpin turns there a few times. You're going to probably practice running with your wetsuit, transition.
yeah,
You're,
I'm
pro-
going to do some
you're
practice.
probably going to do a couple loops of the course just to see how it is when you're running barefoot on it. Oh, no, wait. Sorry. That's me.
So yeah, no, I won't do barefoot running, but I asked my coach about this, and he's like, "Well, you got to practice. Practice more." Oh, okay, thanks. There's no tricks to this, so yeah, he just says practice more. He did say my T1 is really bad, so I want
T1, for those who don't know, is your first transition. That is when you go from the
from
water to the bike.
swimming to biking. So he says you really got to practice taking that wetsuit off and
Take us through
and
the
running.
what happens in T1. So you get out of the water, you start to touch the beach, you're running,
Yeah,
you reach behind, you start unzipping your wetsuit,
yeah,
you start pulling a sleeve out, pull the other sleeve out. You're still running because you have
yeah,
200 meters
yeah,
roughly of run.
yeah.
So you're running, you're trying to pull the wetsuit down.
Yeah, I usually just that's pretty much it. Then I
Then
run.
you jog the last whatever feet you have
But
left.
but I think maybe you should try to get it completely off while you're running.
I've seen guys do that. Guys ahead of me, I've seen them do that.
Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. So that's going to take practice. The other thing that Patrick suggested to improve my time is to actually put the shoes on the bike and start pedaling. I'm like, well, how am I gonna go up the hill with my feet not in the shoes and stuff? He's like, well, you pedal up the hill and then you put your foot in the.
That's what they do. That's what the good ones do. I've seen that at Birds
Yeah.
Hill and the
Oh God,
pros. The
that
pros
was
all do
so
that.
hard. So I'm
just to be clear,
not very
hold on.
hopeful that
So
yeah.
go ahead.
I'm not very hopeful that I will be able to do that, but I will practice it to see if
The shoes come with clips on the bottom and they clip into the pedals, so you lock yourself in so you can push and pull when you're pedaling.
Yeah.
The shoes open up and have some sort of your shoes have like a crank or a how do they crank, right? Where you turn it.
Yeah, you just turn it to
So you can loosen them a bit, but like you can't, they're not slippers. Like you can't just slip into them.
Mine are very stiff. Yeah.
Yeah, they're stiff. So that means you're going to have your feet on your shoes.
Yeah.
And you're going to be pedaling kind of loosey-goosey, feet over top of shoes on clipped in for the first couple 100 meters when you're climbing that first exit hill out of Birds Hill.
Yeah, that's what Patrick said. You have to pedal up the hill. Then when you're on the flat,
you use a hand and you put your
shoe in there. And then you pedal a little bit more because then there's a second hill. Then you put your second shoe on the second. Like he had a whole strategy on how
you're talking about before reaching the loop, right? Just
before reaching the loop. Yeah. On the first.
That first little bit is surprisingly hilly. Deceptively hilly, that first little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you need to do that.
So sorry, so the whole point of and then the dismount, which I just haven't done it in a while, so I have to practice that a little bit.
But that's T2, your second transition.
Yeah, my T2 is not bad now.
So T2 is your second transition. That is when you go from bike
the
to
other
run.
part T1 that takes time is the socks.
I don't think there's a shortcut there, is there?
Well, no socks, I guess. But not worth it. I don't think it's worth it.
No. 6 seconds to put on socks.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
I would put on. So that's a great thing about my transitions at Bird Hills. They're going to be sockless.
You're going to be so fast on this.
I'm not going to be fast. That's the thing. You're going to beat me on transitions even. Well, the second one is really fast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have nothing to do. I drop off my bike and I just keep going.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about running or?
Yeah, well, you were talking about this, so no, that's okay. So you're only doing 25 miles a week because you're biking 600 kilometers a week these days.
I'm doing a lot, yeah.
Yeah, you're doing a lot. No, it's good. It's
a lot of biking, yeah.
I saw you. I saw some. We were sitting at Sand River Cafe after our 36K run on Sunday, and we were talking about biking. And I saw someone go down. Like you didn't? Did you turn on Provencher?
Yeah, I turned on Provencher. Yeah.
What color is your? Is it one disc wheel in the back that's like black?
Yeah.
Okay, that was you for sure. That was you that
Which
I saw.
Which direction was I going?
You were like
east or west?
You were going north on Demeron.
Oh, okay. So that was right at the beginning of my ride. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I was looking for you. I didn't see you turn on Provencher, but I didn't I'm guessing you did turn on Provencher.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I turned on Provencher. Yeah.
Okay, I lost you there for a second. I'm like, I think that's Charlie. Because we were having breakfast. You were just getting started. We had already finished 3.5 hours of running.
Yeah. So you did like 42 miles this weekend?
I did, 42 miles this weekend.
Wow.
It was fun. It was so fun. It's what I needed. And I know it's whatever. I just needed to run like a Y for my running.
Yeah. It was fun.
It was fun. I just wanted to run for fun. I just wanted to run because I enjoyed it. I just wanted to remember last week I was talking about why am I running? Why do I run? Why do I do this? I need a race. I need motivation. I need something. Well, this was a better why than a race.
Yeah.
It was fun. So we ran with George, me, you, and George ran on.
Yeah.
Our cousin George ran on Saturday. Mm-hmm. What did we do there? 20 miles.
I think I did an extra mile because just from my house and back, but so I did 20. I did 21.
32, 33 kilometers, something like that.
Yeah.
And then at Run, we did the last 10K with Run Club.
Yeah.
And then after Run Club, I was chatting with the boys and they were all excited about their Sunday race. And I was like, I want to do that too.
Sunday long run. Yeah.
Sunday long run. And I was like, I want to do that too. And I was like, can I do that? Can I do back-to-back long runs? And I was like, I don't know. Why am I so fearful?
The first one you did pretty easily. So
I felt so good after that George, you and George run.
So speaking of the people you ran with on Sunday, are we going to put pressure on different people than we put on in the last episode to perform at Manitoba, or?
We'll get to that in a sec. Poor George. Talked about him the whole episode. Told him that he should do a sub 4. If you're listening, George, sorry about that episode. Sorry that we put all this pressure on you.
Today we're going to put pressure on
Grant, Marty, those guys,
especially Grant and Marty. Yeah.
Phil. Grant, Marty, Phil. We'll put pressure on those 3. We'll leave everyone else alone. But I felt so good after that run, and I felt the difference between, what did we do? 6:10s or something? 6 minute 10 kilometers, like just over 10-minute miles. So
yeah.
It was very, like, my heart rate and my muscles are very happy with me. It was like a good pace, like an easy pace that I thought I could run for a long time at. And 1 week apart. Last week I ran with Grant, Marty, and those guys. And I know the pace was slightly faster, but I grinded through those last 15 kilometers and it was tough for me with my hips and my soreness. I guess I had just done 100K, but 1 week later, I felt like a new man. Like this weekend, felt like a new man. I felt like I was ready to go. So that was fun to just, and then I'm texting ChatGPT and I'm like, can I do this? Can I do back-to-back? And he was like, he or she, I don't know. I call him Chad. So he is like, well, you're going to have to do 14 of these in a row, like this summer. And if you have no A races coming up and you felt good and you're not going to push the pace and you feel like you've recovered, go ahead. So do it. So that's what Chad encouraged me to go out. And I told him I kind of needed it mental health wise. So Chad's like, do it. So then I texted Patrick just to not surprise our coach. By the way, quick shout out to Patrick.
Oh yeah. So we sent a great email. You read it, right? You did the R3, it's called, rim to rim to rim.
Grand Canyon.
He did the hard route.
The top one.
The steeper one.
Yeah.
So
5,000 meters of elevation, I think it was. And like 70K, 60K, I don't remember.
50 miles, I think.
Yeah, okay. 50 miles with 5 kilometers of elevation. Holy smokes. Yeah. And I was budding. Budding is a word you may have heard on this podcast before. It's like a French word for pouting, I guess. I use it kind of like just when someone's not in a good mood and they're not in a good mood for no reason. They're just budding. So I was budding, self-professed budding. I couldn't get out to run. I was just not motivated. And then I saw Patrick's email. He's like, hey guys, good to be back. I'll give you guys a summary of what I did just for fun. And he talked about like just running, just to enjoy running and how fun it was. And I saw that and I was like, man, quit your budding, Rob. Quit your whining. So I opened my Training Peaks app for the first time in 3 weeks. And when I opened the app, I saw that I had a 2-hour bike the next day and I had a 40-minute brick run. And I also saw that I had missed an interval run that I would have been so fun. By the way, we have to talk. Yeah. I want to do speed training because I found my A race for this summer. I know what my A race is going to be this summer.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be.
Can't wait to hear about this.
It's going to be July 16th. Mark your days in your calendar. It's going to be my A race.
That's a Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday. And it's going to be in the evening. And it's going to be at Assiniboine Park. Stay tuned to this episode. I'm going to talk about it in a bit, but that's going to be my A race this summer. But I saw, and it's going to be your D race, but that's okay. I saw this Training Peaks for the first time. I opened it up and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why have I not been any focus, no motivation, no to like stop this? So I set the alarm the next morning. I got up early. I went and I did the 2-hour bike. I what's the word? I labored through a 2-hour bike. And then I did my brick run and I felt like I was like, let's go. It was so fun to just get back out there and do something again. And I was rejuvenated. And then I did the 32K with George, and then I did the 36K with Grant and Marty and those guys. So I had a very, very fun weekend, Charlie. Very, very fun weekend fitness wise. My daughter's birthday party and a bunch of other stuff that were fun too. But I was happy this weekend.
Yeah. So I had a good weekend too. But the run on Saturday I was so tired after. So
I was going to ask you how you felt after
21 miles, and I just was so tired. I guess I've been doing lots, but then the next day I did like a 3-hour bike ride and felt like $1 million. So it's like I get more tired running. I feel, or something. But
so for the listeners out there, I did a 2-hour bike on Friday. I was wiped out. It was very hard for me. It was draining. And then I went out and I did 42 miles on the weekend. Felt like it was SFA. It was no sweat. Felt like Charlie does a 3-hour run.
Well, it was like 3:40. It took.
Okay, but you were wiped out, and the bike felt like. So we kind of had an opposite weekend.
Yeah.
You had no sweat doing your bike, and like, what did you do? Like, you averaged 34 point. What did you average there and back, including the city? 34 kilometers an hour. That's going through the city.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
that's fast, man.
But I was looking at my data, my best run or bike ride last year, and it was right before September 28th. I averaged 38 kilometers an hour with 225 watts.
Was that around loops at Birds Hill?
No, this was on Henderson. This was everything. This was everything with the water stops, everything. I averaged 38 kilometers an hour for 118 miles. So it was like, so I'm like there's something, well, I guess there's quite a few things that I haven't done yet this year to make myself faster on the bike.
You're also in week 1 of your build.
Yeah, no, but I'm just trying to understand, like, the thing is, like, same power, 3 kilometers an hour less. It's hard to.
Okay, I hadn't gotten that part. I thought you were just impressed with how much power you were putting out and speed.
Yeah, no, I was very happy with my workout, like how much power I put out, but the bike, I still need to figure out how to make it faster. So
those that don't know, the power output is how much power your legs output. So it's like you're pushing. Think of it like you're pushing on weights, basically the pedals being weights, how much power you're emitting, and then the speed is a result of that power and all the other variables, right? Your bike, the coefficient of drag and the wind and the whatever. So you could have a really good bike setup, push at 225 and do 38K an hour, or you could have wind right in your face, bad bike setup, you're pushing at 225 and you're doing 29K an hour. Is that possible? Yeah, maybe.
Or 30 it's possible. Like I remember my first outdoor workout, I think I averaged 210 watts and it was like 29 kilometers an hour. So like today that would be like, yeah, no, I couldn't.
So why? Okay. Cause this is helmet. This is,
well, there's just so many things.
The different things. Okay.
There's tires, there's rolling resistance, there's your clothing, there's how you're sitting on the bike. There's just really, it doesn't stop the amount of things. Like I have my chain. So I gained 0.8 kilometers an hour just by cleaning my chain the other day. So, I mean, there's so many things.
I got to bring my bike for a tune-up. I have to do that.
But anyways, yeah. So that's how much I've learned in a couple of years.
Okay, so you're saying you're down 3 kilometers, same power output as last year.
Well, I wouldn't say 3. I think the route I took this time was a little bit slower. So, but Yeah, I'm not quite where I was, but there's quite a few things I can still do. So I'm not completely. The power's good though. I'm riding strong. So happy with that.
I had to do 200 watts or 210 or something for 10 minutes, 3, 4 times or 5 times in my workout. It was hard. It was hard to get to 200 watts. It was hard.
Yeah.
Just 5 times on my trainer in my basement. I was, yeah, maybe it's, but then you said, oh, maybe it's going to be easier when you're outside or you're.
Well, yeah, your trainer. I found that my trainer always read lower than my power meter. So
Okay. Okay, let's talk about the crew that we ran with on Sunday. Oh,
yeah. Let's
well, you
put
didn't run.
pressure on people.
Let's put pressure on people, yeah, because not just George. We got to do it on other people too. Maybe I'll start actually with a quick shout out to Jamie Bourgogne. I don't know if you've been following him.
Yeah. I'm worried about. I'm worried he's going too hard, but he's doing really well. Yes, but he seems to be improving really quickly here.
Yeah, he's doing the half. He did 18K. Shout out to him.
Got to have some easy runs in there, Jamie.
Okay. You listening, Jamie? Charlie's giving you a hard time here.
I'm
proud of you, Jamie.
Awesome. He's doing awesome, but you got to have some easy runs.
Yeah. Well, that was it. That was Hay in the Barn last weekend. And
yeah,
longest running I think he's ever done, or not longest, but like longest, fastest. And he's really excited. And he was hoping to do 150 maybe at the marathon, but maybe he's just going to go for 2 or a personal best or whatever. Either way, congrats. Shout out to you.
Yeah, amazing progression for him.
Yeah.
Hey, Dwayne Wheeler.
Yeah, just keeps hammering marathons. That guy. Every 2 weeks. What did
We're gonna have him as a guest eventually, but
320 he did at Calgary.
320 at Calgary.
He's living the life I wish I could lead. Just go and run.
Just run a marathon every weekend.
Run a marathon every weekend. If you get a
PB, if it's not a marathon, it's an Ironman.
Yeah, marathons, Ironmans, all over the place, all over the world. I'm kidding. I'm not saying I wish I could lead, because that means like I'd have to have my family with me, obviously, and whatever. But like, it's cool what he's doing.
Oh yeah. So he's gonna be a double 6-time Abbott major, whatever. Soon.
I think he's gonna do 5 of the 6 majors this year.
Yeah. So
5 of the 6.
Do it so well.
Yeah.
But also coached by Patrick. So
also coached by first Ironmaner that him and Trap.
We look up to him lots in the first time we met him. Yeah.
Well, we still look up to him, but we definitely did a lot back then for sure.
Yeah.
Then we got to talk about these 3 guys, Grant, Marty, and who all look great, by the way, Grant, Marty, and Phil. So Phil is definitely on our heels, Charlie.
Yeah, well, he's faster than me for sure.
He's fast. He had a bit of an injury, so I think he's going to maybe take it a little bit slower at Manitoba because he lost some key weeks there during the build.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't breathe yesterday. He was just humming along, 36 kilometers, no sweat. At the end, when I did my barefoot miles, I got to tell you guys this. I'm training for this barefoot triathlon that I guess I kind of committed to over and over again on this podcast. Now I kind of have to do it, even though. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm going to train for barefoot this time. Unlike the last time I did my barefoot triathlon and I just went out and I ran and my feet were chopped up and then I lost like 2 weeks because of just healing, or at least a week I don't remember, but I lost some time. I don't have a week to lose because isn't the Manitoba Marathon right after the Birds Hill Triathlon?
1 week after.
Yeah, so I can't.
But I mean, you might have blisters, right? But what did you say about blisters previously?
Yeah, blisters are all in your head. It's not a real injury. Blisters are not a real injury. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, debatable, but
So
you did some barefoot running.
I did some barefoot running. So we were on Lyndale Drive there when I took my shoes off. I think I was about 3.5 kilometers out. So I took my shoes off and you put them in my backpack, or I put them in I don't remember. And you put them in my backpack because you know what? I wear a vest now when I do runs. Quick pause. Great. Quick shout out to vest.
Yeah, thanks for muling that water for me.
Life changer.
I would not have been there. I didn't even bring water to that run, and you're like, hey, you gotta have water, so you carried my water the entire
I'm soft now, I guess, or am I just am I like mature?
You're organized, maybe.
Organized. I used to do 3-hour runs and never bring water. And now you did that your whole life.
It's too complicated to bring water on a 3-hour run.
But it was a little bit hot on Saturday.
Oh God. I every time I'd have the water, I'd be like, oh God, this is
so I had my vest, I had fruit source bars, I had gels, I had granola bars, and I had 2 500 mLs of water. And I was drinking some, but like I gave it to you and you had some, and then we stopped at the halfway point and refilled them. And it's cool. It's cool. It's all right.
Yeah, I was telling George that like water on race day is like a bonus. It's like bonus. But no, you need to have it on your training runs too, I guess.
Well, you and I used to think, or I used to think that I don't need it. So what's the big deal? I know I can run 3 hours without water, but that's not the point. The point is if you're trying to optimize your performance that day, right? You want the lowest heart rate. You want
and your recovery
recovery. Well, then you need water. Like you need to drink water. And I used to not get that. And now I'm like, I'm bringing water. I'm schlepping water for all you guys.
I'm going to have to bring my vest out next time.
Do you own a vest?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a vest.
Zero career. Sorry, I wore it once when I was training for the Frozen Falcon, and I put water in it, and they warned me like the water can freeze if you're not careful. Blah, blah, blah. Half a mile into it, it was minus 35. Half a mile into it, I'm carrying a block of ice on my head.
Oh, you weren't happy, probably.
Yeah, no.
I've had the vest for 2 weeks and a few days, and I've done 100. 34, 32, 36. So I've done 200 kilometers.
Yeah, that thing is paying for itself.
It's free. It's free so far. It's been free, but I did enjoy having it. I love being able to just hand out water to my brother who didn't have any water with him. But what was I saying?
And those water bottles. What do you call those? Those were nice too.
Which water bottles?
That's a great product. The squishy water bottles. What do you call that?
Compressible or not foldable or
there's a nipple there and you just
nice. It's a vest water cylinder chest bottle thing that's compressible. Yeah, those things are cool.
That was nice.
What were we talking about before I started talking about the vest? Sorry, I got sidetracked with the vest.
Don't remember. George, we ran with George.
Barefoot. So you put my shoes in the back. I did 3.5 kilometers on the first day. And I just said, I'm going to run whatever we're running on. That trail behind the hospital was rough, was painful because it's like crushed gravel.
But there is that exact same.
Grant kept saying, it's just like this at the Birds Hill.
But it's exactly like at Birds
Hill. Like this at Birds Hill. That was the hardest. I get like the smooth pavement on Lindale there with the sidewalks are so nice. And I was like, 3 miles. And then you get the trail and it's deadly. And I was thinking, why am I doing this?
I think you would get blisters though on the smooth pavement. A little bit, maybe.
Yeah. So then the second day, quick Barefoot story, and then we'll get into pressuring the other guys. I did 7 kilometers yesterday or Sunday. I did 7 kilometers.
7 kilometers on
7 kilometers barefoot. And we did kind of started at the not too far from BDI there on Kingston Row. And we went down and Demeron and all the way. So it was all sorts of different surfaces. I got new pavement on Demeron in front of the golf course, but I got botched pavement. I did sidewalks with, and it just kept hurting and it was hurting more. But eventually you just get numb to it. It's not comfortable, but I did 7 kilometers and I feel great today. Not great, but there's no damage under my foot today. So that means I'm probably ready for a 10K.
Right? Maybe one more long run on Sunday with just barefoot.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing like a 5K midweek this week, like the last 5K of one of my, and then like try to do 8 or 9 on the weekend, and that's it. That's my training. That maybe I'll do
a barefoot bike ride.
No. Barefoot bike. Oh, you know what? I'll do all my miles barefoot from now on. I think I have a big bike on Thursday or something.
Okay.
I got to put my barefoot pedals on. All this overhead, Charlie. I hate this. I got to think about this barefoot pedals. What else do I have to get a bike tune up of my chain. My gears don't change well. What else do I have to do? Million things to prepare a triathlon.
Well, I mean, if you want to perform, I mean, but you could just show up with your bike. Wouldn't be the end of the world.
I could, but then like I'm going to compare my time to yours. And then like, how come I was 27 minutes slower than him just on the bike?
The bare feet. You can just blame it on the bare feet.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Maybe I'll try to beat you on the run barefoot, and then that could be my saving grace. I won't be able to. It'll be so choppy.
I'll take an easy bike.
And you'll crush me on the run.
I just save myself for the run.
Anyway, so I
will not do that.
Training is looking good for the barefoot. But you're doing triathlon practice on Sunday?
I'm calling triathlon practice Sunday morning. I have to go.
Maybe
early.
I'll go.
Maybe I'll go early because I have to get back by 11.
Maybe I'll go and I'll do a loop of the barefoot just to see what it's like.
Yep.
Because it's 2 loops, right?
2 loops of the barefoot, yeah.
But it's not exactly the same course every year, right?
It is pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll do a couple loops, train my feet, get ready for it mentally. I'll do some training.
There's a section where you can. There's two sections where you can run on grass. There's actually 3 sections, pretty long sections that you can run on grass there.
Hopefully Guinness are they listening? Is that off the path?
As long as you don't take a shortcut, I think you're good.
Okay. But I mean, how am I going to do the swim barefoot?
That's going to be tough.
That's the joke. Okay. So that's me and my barefoot story. That's it for the barefoot story. So back to Grant and those guys. So Phil on fire. That he reminds me of you and I when we started, like just wants to immediately qualify for Boston, doesn't realize that you probably doesn't accept no for an answer. And then he gets hurt because he does too many miles, and Phil's crushing it, looking very good. Marty had his first 100-kilometer week ever. I think he's going to do I don't know what he's going to do, but it's going to be somewhere around 345, I would think. 345, 350. Grant, I think also he's right around there, maybe a little bit behind, maybe. Those guys did a lot of miles. Pretty impressive, Grant, too, eh? Like, how long has he been running? I don't know, but it's impressive what he's come around to doing. So it was great.
He ran the marathon. They both ran the marathon last year. I think he ran a 350 or 355 or something.
Yeah, 356, 57.
Yeah, they were both just under 4. I think this year,
just behind you,
they need to target 345.
There's the pressure. This is us putting the pressure. Yeah, enough of this coasting.
But even splits, guys, don't go too hard or early.
Yeah, I'm not going to see them because I'm pacing 345. I'd like them to just. Oh no, I will see them.
Start a little behind you and then pass you.
Pass me. That'd be great if they would do that. Yeah, that's actually a great idea. First 5 miles. Imagine, are you the one who said, like, imagine you could just get your first 10 miles out of the way and just have
the first 10 miles should be like free. Like you well, they weren't free for me in Boston but
they've never been free for me except in London. The only time they were ever free.
26 were free for you in London, sounds like.
Okay. So heavy pressure on those guys to perform.
I felt like okay, so when we did Phoenix, I felt like they were the first 15 were free. Yeah, I mean, I think if you can get that feeling where they're almost free, that's kind of, especially in your first few, like unless you're really trying to PR, like unless you're really, yeah, it's a tough gauge between free and working a bit.
Well, that's the thing. George texted us after the last podcast episode because you don't have that experience to know, can I hold this? Or like it should be hard, but it shouldn't be too hard. And you're like, well, I want to work hard because it's a marathon, and yet it can't be max.
I think my advice for someone running their first marathon would be a lot different than someone maybe who's done a few. So you're like, in your first one, like definitely the first 10 miles have to feel super easy. and then the next 10 have to feel a bit harder, and then you go as hard as you can the last 6, the last 10.
Which nobody ever has anything left for.
Yeah.
Ever
So you have
in their
to keep
first marathon.
Yeah. So that's why if your first marathon, the first 10 have to feel super easy, like easier than you think.
Yeah, because you're probably thinking, well, it's a race. I got to go.
Yeah.
And I've in practices, I was able to do whatever. I'll do those miles. I'll go that fast. But then, I feel good. I feel good. Because the thing is,
well, no, the thing is that you feel so good on race day that
you're tapered.
You end up going a minute faster than what you've done in practice.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to avoid.
Or even 20 seconds faster is not a good idea.
Yeah.
RJ, my buddy from Calgary, started running, I don't know, a year ago or something like that. He did the Calgary Marathon, and I saw his post on Strava after, and it was something along the lines of, had a hard time, dealt with issues in the last 10 miles or in the last 10 kilometers. And I just felt like saying, like, this wasn't an outlier. Like, it wasn't like you and everyone else like that does their first marathon. His pace went from.
Well, what were Dwayne's splits? He said he struggled at the end. He struggled at the end, but I bet you he didn't struggle.
I'm sure Dwayne, he's done 400 marathons in the last 3 weeks. So I'm sure
he knows how to run.
Yeah. But I just saw that and I was like, first off, congrats, RJ, on doing your marathon.
Yeah.
Second of all, like, I wasn't surprised to see you blow up at mile 20. Like, that's for sure. So yeah, Josh, do what you can to get those 10 first miles as free as they possibly could be. 3 races I want to talk about if we can, or do you want to talk more about advice for the marathon?
No. So, but also there was a race in Ottawa this weekend that our uncle's brother ran.
Yeah, let's talk about that quick.
I don't know.
Well, no, he did a 5 hour, I think, something like that.
Somewhere like that, yeah. So, anyways,
okay, there's
shout out to our uncle's brother.
We've never met. But you know who was there in Ottawa? Obviously, the crew from Inspired Souls. Carolyn and Johnny.
Pretty fast runners, those guys.
Johnny did his first ever sub 35-minute 10K. Congrats. They went out there just for the 10K. Well, and to encourage.
Was that John's PR?
PB, yeah.
Oh, really?
First ever sub 35. Said he was chasing it.
Okay, so he knows how to run 10Ks now. Good for him.
Wow. Knows how. Did you ever doubt that guy?
Well, he did say previously that was his weakness, right? So,
I know, but that's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, which brings us to the announcement that I'd like to make. And we'll talk about some of the other events, but there's 3. And congrats to Carolyn. She had a tough travel day because they left Edmonton, and they got there, and she also had a great time. Not her PB, but I think she had a great time, 41 something. So congrats for that. Here's the race that we're doing. This is the announcement. This is the official announcement. We'll do more formal press conferences later, but July 16th, mark your calendars, in the evening, Wednesday night, Charlie and Rob from The Running Journey will go head-to-head against Johnny and Carolyn from Inspired Souls. 5K relay race. Proceeds go to charity. Losers will have to figure something out. We haven't figured out all the details, but for now we have the date and we have the location. It's going to be at the CMU, same location that we did our, what is it? Awesome Twosome? Terrible Twosome?
Awesome Twosome.
So that race is this weekend. Pick your charity race. We can't make it because you're biking. Oh, I'm not here this weekend. What am I talking about?
You're going to Ottawa or wherever.
Quebec. Yeah. I can't practice with you. Practice. So I'm not practicing with you, not because I don't want to. So because we're missing that race, I reached out and I said, why don't we do a race? You and I have talked about it before. So we will be racing them. First off, who's favored? They are, obviously. They are. Even though we beat them by 1 second last year, they're tuned up for 5Ks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, John just ran a 35, sub 35.
So he's going to do like a 16.
Carolyn just ran a 42 and a half. I can't run. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe.
But
that's why they run the race, I guess.
that's why they run the race. Regardless, I am so amped up about this race. I can't tell you how pumped I am about this race. I texted Patrick and I'm like, a race for me this summer is my 5K on July 16th. That's a Wednesday night. And you know what else happens on July 16th?
I sent a message to Patrick. I said, there's this race on the 16th that I have to do, but don't change my Ironman training, please. No, just kidding. I'm also very excited.
Yes. And not because obviously we're extremely competitive people, but also just because I think it'll be fun, running community, and just it'll be fun. I don't like the only time I've ever raced a 5K, I think, was at that thing that we won. And that was so fun that day. That was so fun.
You're going to bring your vests for that one? Or what's the water strategy for a 5K? I know. Yeah. So Jacob Ingebrigtsen, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He won the year he won the Olympics in the 5K. 1 year, I think, he had a water on the track.
He had water on the track?
There was a table with water on the track. Maybe it was World Championships, and he stopped. Well, didn't stop, but he.
What did he do? Like a 9-minute 5K or something? I'm kidding.
No, no. But he won the gold. He won the gold with the water stop.
Wow. I'm sure he didn't stop a ton.
He didn't slow down. Like, I mean, he slowed down. He slowed down to like 2:57 a K or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
So this race is happening. It's also July 16th. Also happens to be Johnny's birthday.
That's his birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, we're in tough.
We're in very tough. You know what's really, really sucks is I asked Carolyn how old he was. I shouldn't have done this because I found out that he's
45, 44.
He's 9 days younger than me.
Oh, that's right. Your birthday's the 7th, so
which means we'll
pretty much have the same age. Maybe that's why it's faster. 7 days.
I'll never be able to win an age category in my life because of this guy. He's always going to be in my way.
You know what? You're not that far behind him. You could potentially.
You think I could beat Johnny Coffin in a race at some point in my life?
Well, I think.
Wow. I'll take that as a compliment.
No, I don't think right. I think you need a few years of really intense
miles
training.
Under my bet.
Well, I mean, okay, so you can probably do a 38-minute 10K, I would imagine. So there's a 3-minute difference there. It's not that much.
When I did London Marathon, Garmin had my race predictor at 17:30 for a 5K.
Wow.
And this is funny.
What was your 10K predictor?
10K at that time was 37:26.
Okay. So you're not that far behind. I mean, there's a big difference. That's a lot of minutes. Yeah, it's a big difference.
Multiple minutes.
Like the 37 to 35 is a bigger difference than 50 to 45.
Yeah, it had me at just under 122 for the half, 121 and change for the half. The funny part about this is this Garmin race predictor, I don't know what it means to you. I don't think it means that much, but my marathon predictor time has not moved since. It's moved a little bit because I'm running outside. It's gone up slightly. I'm at 2:56 now, but my 5K time is now predicted 19:08. And it does not think I could break 40 minutes on a 10K today, Garmin, because I haven't run fast in forever, right? Crazy how it just loses faith in you real quick.
Yeah.
But this race is coming up. So
Garmin's your best friend that tells you how it is, tells you like it is.
You think I couldn't do a 40-minute 10K today?
No, you could probably do it. You could do it.
I think
you could for sure do it.
But I'm not doing a 37.
I could not.
Garmin's probably right. It's probably like 39, 30, 39. Yeah. Garmin's probably right. Garmin's right. But anyways, jacked about that race that's coming up. It's going to be my summer race. Can't wait. Can't wait for that race. It's going to be fun. I'm going to train hard for speed. What do we got? We got 2 months, Charlie. Less than 2 months, 8 weeks. So you're going to do whatever you're going to do, but I'm going to focus on that race. I want to get fast.
You're going to taper for it and stuff?
I'm going to treat it and whatever Patrick tells me to do. Yeah. I'm going to do whatever we need. Did you taper for a 5K?
if it's your A race, you should taper for it. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna treat it like a great race. Two other races coming up. Well, one that I know for sure is coming up. I'm doing my 100K, the sobriety 100, whatever the heck you want to call it. I'm doing it on July 1st, leaving in leaving in Marchand, passing through Le Brocry. I did this last year. It was fun. Fun. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. It wasn't torturous like Suffer on the Centennial. It was hard at the end, but it's important to do hard things, to remind yourself that you can do hard things, and quitting drinking is a lot easier than those things. So put things in perspective. So I'm doing that. If anyone wants to join me for the last 20, 25K, feel free to DM me or reach out to me. Finishing in Winnipeg. And then there's rumblings of something else happening across Manitoba. Do you want to talk about that one, or it's not ready to be divulged yet?
No, let's hold off on that one.
Oh, okay. Keeping his cards close to the vest. All right. So we got the Birds Hill Manitoba Marathon, Pepet Jerry Run. Then I think there's a couple of weeks till my big A race of the summer, July 16th. Your Ironman is when? Phil was asking me when your Ironman was.
September.
Mid-September. Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah, September 15th, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So that gives you, okay. So you're early into your thing. And then you'll go right after that into a Chicago. That won't give you much time. So that won't be.
No, I'm just going to be
along for the ride.
Still in shape from my Ironman. Hopefully I just keep training. I just go straight through, and because I feel like you do when you train for an Ironman, you're in pretty good shape by the end.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
No, but I mean, I think you can run a fast marathon after that.
Yeah. Do you
build?
Yeah. The one thing is you might not have many tempo days, right? Or interval days or any speed work of any, if I remember, or am I wrong on that?
I feel like there's a higher proportion of your running when you're training for an Ironman that is at a faster pace.
Oh, because you're doing less miles. Yeah. Okay.
You're doing less, but the endurance stuff is on the bike.
Fair enough. So just make sure to, and you will go hard for those if you're supposed to, right?
I'll go as hard as I can under the circumstances. But here's the thing. Patrick gave me, man, we talk about him a lot. So he's a pretty amazing coach, you got to say. Anyways, he gave me a workout for next week, or actually tomorrow morning, where it says 20 minutes race pace simulation. And he put it at like 7 minutes per mile. And I was really insulted. So that means he thinks I can only do 7 minutes per mile on my Olympic here. Like, cause there's 15 minutes of my run that is supposed to be at Olympic race pace.
Olympic speed race pace 7 per mile. That's like a 43-minute. What is that? A 43-minute 10K?
Yeah, something like that. 44. So I was insulted. Sorry, Patrick.
What is your 10K going to be, you think, at the triathlon?
I would like to shoot for a stretch goal of 41.
Okay.
But we'll see. Anyways, it's always that part of it is, I do like when you're doing your Ironman training, at the end you feel like you can't run the whole time, and then at the end you start tapering, and it's like, oh man, I can run, you know. So I'm looking forward to that, to the taper. 29 weeks from now.
Speaking of individuals who let loose a little bit on a run after a bike, you saw Ardud?
Oh God,
he was at Ironman.
What an athlete!
Riley Dudar, our buddy, Ironman Victoria, who was on the show. I guess they canceled the swim on him, or I guess he knew.
Yeah.
but I think crushed a bike and I think crushed his run. He says he was a little disappointed with his time, but like, dude, that was, what did he do? He did a 147 or something on the half.
147 half, 237 bike.
That's
fast, man.
Yeah.
First one.
Where is he doing his training? Because it's not on Strava. Like,
yeah, I guess he's just.
Does he not wear his watch and do hundreds of miles? Is he just in that good shape?
Yeah, it's crazy. I had to work a long time to get that good. So I guess maybe he's just a natural athlete.
Well, congrats on that accomplishment.
That's great.
Riley, Arded. Yeah, that's a pretty good time for Arded. Todd Friesen is doing Fargo this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, this weekend or next weekend?
It's coming up soon. It's coming up
this weekend.
There's got to be probably a lot of people doing Fargo then.
It is. Yeah, it's this weekend.
Okay, so we'll be following him.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of Winnipeggers.
Yeah.
So we're pulling for all of you guys.
Tristan De Silva, he's been.
Oh, that's his A race.
Yeah, but he's been injured. So, I mean, I think he can run now, but.
Well, we know he can run.
yeah. No, but there's a few days he didn't run for a few days. I think he ended his 2,000 day streak. Anyways, I feel for him because I think he peaked for Boston a little bit.
Did he ever deliver?
But this was supposed to be his A race, and I think he's battling an injury. So good luck to him.
Good luck, Tristan. Good luck, Todd and whoever else. I know there's a lot of Manitobans that have pulled a shoot though on that race. They're not going because of geopolitical or whatever. Like I know Grant and those guys were supposed to go, and whoever else, but whatever. We got enough races around here. So anything else you want to touch on today, Charlie?
No, just keep on running.
Last question. Should people be, if this is your kind of your last week or two of prep before the, are you a believer that they should be practicing with their gels on their long runs?
Yeah, 100%. You have to practice on your gel.
Yeah, it is not even debatable, right?
Because so the reason you need to practice is really you need to be able to consume as many gels as possible as you can physically handle. And you won't know what that number is unless you've tried it in practice. So that's why it's important. It's not because it's hard or you need to at least have a minimum amount. Like you need to know that you can at least handle 6 gels in a marathon, or 8 or 10 would be even better, right? That's why you need to practice.
So when I asked you about water, you and I have both admittedly not drank water on our long runs, and we didn't think it was a big deal. That's a little different. It's still not a great idea, but it's a little different.
You should. Well, having water makes taking in those gels a lot easier.
Yeah. But this is more of a, you don't know if your gut can handle 8 gels unless you've tried it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you should. And what you don't want to do is go, oh, I bought these gels. I'm going to save them for race day. And these are the 8 that I'm going to have a race day. Then you start on race day, you have 1, and then you do the second one. You're like, oh my God, my stomach's, I'm going to puke or I'm going to shit myself. And then you give up on gels.
Yeah. And it doesn't need to be gels. There's other forms of nutrition that you can have, but whatever it is, you want to get in as many carbs as you can. And people are generally in agreement that as many carbs as you can on a marathon.
Yeah. Because for us kind of hackers, weekend runners, and everyone who's listening to this, aside from Tristan and Johnny, they're weak. We're weekend runners. We're trying to do the best we can. The likelihood of us consuming too many carbs in a race is almost impossible, right?
Yeah, I've almost never seen anyone do that. I mean, it's
too hard to pull off.
Well, the too many carbs is if your stomach can't handle it. So that I've seen, right? But
no, for sure. We've all seen that.
But that's not actually too many. That's just more than you can handle.
You can't handle it. No, but I mean, let's say, I was able to have 20 gels during my race day. I had one every 5 minutes. That doesn't happen. No one can do that. So in other words, you need to train your body to get as many gels in as possible. And we talked about that this weekend a bit. And I was just, and you're like, for someone who hasn't tried them a ton, you would still like, I'm a at least every half hour guy. I think everyone should try to get one.
Yeah. So now there's not much time. You have 1 week left, guys, to practice. So
there's another weekend.
Yeah. So if you haven't practiced, try to get in 5 gels on your long run, 4 or 5 gels at least, right? To say at least as a baseline, that's your minimum amount.
I would argue that if you could get them, let's say you have a 2-hour run.
Yeah.
If you could try to get 4 in a 2-hour run, like every half hour.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Yeah.
Or maybe 5, you do them a little more often. Because what you don't want is you hit mile 20 and you're like, you know what? I've had enough of these. I'm good. And then you end up just
So that's but that's more of a discipline thing. So I find that at the end of marathons, you become mentally lazy, and taking in another gel seems like the hardest thing. But you need them right till the end.
You need them right to the end. Voice of reason, Mr. Charlie Tatro. And what I did in London is I was spacing out my salt tablets every 8.
Oh, yeah.
I did 8 and I did 9 gels, or vice versa, 9 or 8 gels. And it kept me mentally sharp. Like, they weren't at the same time. And it was like, you have to stay sharp. So I enjoyed that experience. Try that if you're not sure. Set an alarm on your phone or your whatever you need to do to not forget to take gels, because it's deadly. Not deadly as you're going to die, but deadly for your likelihood of getting your PB. Your PB dies if you stop taking gels, right? It's out the window. Mm-hmm. So anyways, that was just a quick chat I want to have with you about gels. All right. So we'll see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, take a sec.
One more point on the gels is practice at race pace too. Because it's a lot easier to take your gels like when you're running easy and whatever.
So easy do you mean like ripping, opening, and squirting, or do you mean like digesting?
Well, both. I mean, I think for most people it'd be easy either way, but it's just when you're breathing hard and your heart rate's really high, taking in those gels is much harder on your body.
We'll talk more about gels probably in the week leading up to the Manitoba Marathon, which Charlie and I are both pacing. I'm 3:45. Charlie is 4:30. You think you'll be able to do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it right on this time.
4:30 with a 1 minute every 10 walking, running. So
4:29:57. I'm gonna screw it up at the end.
Okay. Remember, guys, this is the last couple of weeks of your training. Go hard for speed, but less mileage, right? Cut your mileage down. Taper should have started for you guys, or is probably starting, or is about to start. Cut your mileage down. Your hay's mostly in the barn by now, by the time you're listening to this. So if you're running the Manitoba Marathon, and give us a 5-star review, please. None of you guys are doing it. I know, because I checked the reviews, and if you're like, he's right, I didn't do it. Do it. Just take 2 seconds. It helps us out a ton. Please. I'm begging you. All right. Thanks, guys. More miles, less pace. See you in the next video.